Wednesday morning, and I'm happy to be alive. I went through a rough night as well. I didn't get much sleep. I want to see if I have my notebook with me because I had some interesting things I wrote down last night, and some sketches, the little doodles that I did last night that were more clear than what I was seeing the day before, and I wanted to relay to you guys information that I received within my astral light. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe, join the channel, my Patreon, patreon.com/the mystical spiral. What's up, Thoth Mark? What's up, brother? If you want to send me your address privately, Mark, I can email you a charm in the mail as well. What's up, Melinda? How's it going, my buddy? Let me see if I have my notebook with me. No, I left it at the house, but I don't have that notebook with me, but I will have it later when I go back in a little bit. Hold on, let me take my shirt off because it's hot out right here. Let me take my sweatshirt off. So we're going to be doing a lot of interesting discussions this week, the rest of the week. I have to do a healing session on myself as well because there's a lot of things going on. And I need to be here strong. So it's very, very, very interesting what I've come to find out about Venus and our connection to Venus. And now, look what's in the news right after. It's like the psychic timing. It's the spiritual signs that we get. Is you could see the synchronicity on other places, especially NASA, the governments. They have psychic soldiers employed that pull in information from the cosmic library, the living, breathing, holographic library of information that we have in our higher dimensional brain. So they know when we are receiving information as well. And right before it gets us psychics reveal, or right after we reveal, before it gets known on a too wide scale basis, they always come out with some statement to try to give people a little heads up, or whatever you could think, because I've been talking about Venus and volcanic portals, and I'm not trying to say I'm so special or this or that, but there's so much been said that nothing's new anymore. Everything's been said or done before. But I'm literally the only one in our community that has been talking, well, the first one at least, to be talking about the significance of volcanoes and the portals, the portal network, and the sacred fire of creation, the cauldron of creation that are volcanoes, and how it's related to the spiritual fire on our planet. And the evil of man forges the pressure of super volcanoes. And they bring asteroids and earthquakes and meteorites to bring activation codes to these sleeping giants. And they are sleeping monsters. And they are awakening. A network are awakening on our planet to bring back the ancients, to bring back the old worlds. Atlantis is rising again in new form. And it's through the volcanoes. Now, I was shown, and I'm going, and everybody like and subscribe, support me at PayPal. You can find everything on themysticalspiral.com. I'm about to reveal to you some groundbreaking information here that I was shown. And I actually have a sketch that I did of what I was shown. Now, first, let's talk about what was said in the news recently. That how, I don't know if they said millions of years or thousands of years, because I didn't read the article. It was Rex Bear actually talked about that. That was the article in one of his shows. I didn't even actually see his show. I saw his headline and I saw a couple of minutes of what he was talking about, and I was like, it blew me away. The reason why I clicked on it, because I was just talking about in my Zoom chat the other night. In fact, when I was sick the other night with a cold, you can hear the phlegm still in my throat. Excuse me. When I was sick the other night with my cold, I was a little bit woozy, so I couldn't like really get my clear thoughts out because I was really tired and I had a fever. But I was asked by one of my patrons in the Zoom chat what I thought about Venus. And I literally said that this is a place where the gods send information, a place that people once lived. And now they're saying that there was life on our planet, on Venus rather, many, many years ago. And that it had a climate just like ours at one time. Now we will in the future be something similar to Venus, our planet. If the harmony isn't balanced again, we will see what is on Venus right now. Now, I saw, not only did I see our Earth on some sort of, some long type tunnel that looked like some sort of like time tunnel or something like this. It was like a funnel on both ends open, and it went through all the way through the South Pole up into the North Pole, through the middle of our Earth, coming out the top with like pinkish and different multicolored light coming through it. And I saw something to the left of our Earth. If we were at a bird's eye view looking down on our Earth, to the left side was like a big bucket. It looked like a bucket, but with a upside down V on it, and it looked like it was about to like some stuff from the sun was going into it, and it was about to come onto our Earth or do something like that. It was very weird looking structure. But then this was a couple nights ago. But then last night I was shown a structure on Venus that is an upside down V. And I don't know if it's within the planet or if it's within a volcano or a huge super volcano. But it literally is not affected by lava. It's not. In fact, the lava makes it stronger for some reason. It makes it more solidified, more strengthened. It's not affected by volcanic activity, anything. It's of some sort of metal or something that is not affected by any of that. It's literally within lava, and it's an upside down V, and it has all these little pathways or bridges on it or something that I saw with little circles. I saw like a side view of it, from a bird's eye almost side view of it, and I could see it like I saw almost like a dimensional view of it, like, and I drew what I saw, but it was a massive structure that I do feel is some sort of base, and it was like an upside down V, and what's interesting is that I seen something very similar in some of the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics, and for some reason I got the feeling that this is what the Masonic temples, the Rosicrucians, the Masons, when you see them use the compass as one of their symbols, I really think it's not really meant to be the compass. It's meant to be this upside down V type structure that I saw. We even see some of the ancient Egyptian gods holding this in some of their portraits, some of their depictions. There is life on that structure. I felt it. It's a pulsating signal that's coming out of that structure as well. I don't know if that's a chevron, if that's what that shape is called, or what, but this is really intense information, and I do feel what's coming out of our volcanoes here is literally programmed, and stuff in like information or activation codes or things like this are embedded within the very sacred flow of the lava that's coming from Venus through some sort of portal and coming out of the volcanoes on our planet. I know that sounds ridiculous probably, and that it is impossible, but there's somehow the lava on our planet is connected to the lava on Venus. It's literally inside, bubbling inside a cauldron of creation on Venus, and then sent here through some sort of activation, portal activation within the lava, within the volcanic depths, the abyss of the world, and it's connected. And it needs to be, I don't think anybody's going to really ever tell us the real truth about things, but they give us little seeds, little seeds of information to try to say, hey, we told you what was going down. Now, I do feel that asteroids and meteorites are dispatched from this upside down V-type thing I saw. Almost like they're caravans, flying caravans, flying storage facilities sent to terraform worlds. And now I do think that it's connected to our spiritual fire, our sacred fire. The spiritual knowledge that keeps you pumping. The spiritual realms that keeps you believing, keeps your faith unshakable. And that sacred fire has been corrupted by opening up spiritual technology of chaos. Our harmonic laws have been broken. And me and several others have been out there fighting a spiritual war. Thank you, Shane. What did you talk about on Laura Eisenhower's podcast? About volcanoes? About Venus? Venus was known in alchemy too as the planet of the goddess of love, right? The goddess of creation. Literally, love is creation, right? Love breeds creation. Love breeds universal harmony and law. All targeted individuals. I have a little comment about that, especially, I'm not bad rapping you at all, Mark, at all, because I don't even know what was discussed, but I have a problem with people even calling, hey, Lynn, my buddy, Silica Arphonia. Oh shit, that's like Wait, now I know that name. Oh, Lynn, we got to talk later. Now, I have a problem, first of all, with people calling themselves targeted individuals, and even being out there being interviewed as a targeted individual. Because, first of all, calling yourself a targeted individual is, first of all, you're labeling yourself a victim. And just being a victim and wearing it as a badge, wearing it as your claim to fame, is pretty pathetic. All right, we're all targeted individuals. Every single one of us on the planet has been targeted by artificial intelligence and by what's sweeping over our souls like a fucking net. We are all targeted. Now, it's up to us not to wear it as a badge, not for our misery to be our claim to fame. And anybody who even considers themselves a targeted individual is calling themselves a victim and trying to be get sympathy for it, or get, if the only thing that you can say that's you know what's the reason why we're interviewing this person? Oh, because they're a targeted individual, they've been victimized. Oh, really? So what have they succeeded in? What's the so they've only come to talk about how people have sought them out, or dark forces have sought them out, and what happened, and now, so this is what's taking place, in my opinion, is that a lot of the people that consider themselves targeted are psychic, and they're accumulating psychic energy, and it's affecting their ego. It's starting to inflate their ego, and they're not getting rid of that psychic energy in a healing capacity and sharing information with others in the appropriate way. And when that happens, it'll split your personality. It'll make you think that the whole world is after you. It'll make you think that you're so special that every friggin' black car or gold car is somebody that's secretly watching you, or everybody on the street is in on a secret espionage against you, or like it's some Truman show. And that is a spiritual attack in many ways, but it's something that it's a virus that it has encoded, or embedded itself in your genetic encoding, in your consciousness, and it's spreading rapidly, where you have a spiritual ego. An ego, spiritually, your ego can inflate, because your ego you can't see. It's not something that's tangible, right? You see the physical effects of your ego, but it's a spiritual thing that manifests your ego. And if you're accumulating energy from others, and it's not dealt with and let out appropriately, it will turn into the Truman Show. It will turn to thinking that all of this, you're a love virus in the Matrix. Yeah, I mean, literally everyone is a targeted individual. Everyone that's affected by magazine articles, by billboards, by the media, by etc., 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 is targeted individuals. The whole world has been targeted. All right, so the whole idea of calling somebody a targeted individual is fucking ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, especially when people, they're being hired to talk at conferences because they're a targeted individual. Okay, so you're going up there talking about how daddy spanked you, and how the whole world is after you. I mean, to me, that doesn't help the situation at all. We all know that's happening. We're all well aware that the earth is a cauldron of targeted dark energy. And we, as a species, are in dire straits. Dire straits. And we're going to be seeing a lot of things returning to our world because of the wars in the spiritual realms. And our spiritual realms are collapsing. And so is this one. Now, I've been uncovering some interesting things too about my book that I'm writing about obelisks and spiritual technology. And I even have a chapter that's on termites and insects and how certain termites build structures that look like obelisks. I mean, some of them are 50 feet in the air, even in Africa or Australia, and they even look like they have the totems of heads in them, like ancient, like the ancient gods are literally being made within this structure. They look like totem poles, some of them, totem pole obelisks. And they are a technology of the insects. And it's generating a force, an energy as well. So I'm going through many different chapters in my book that's very intriguing. And people are going to love it when we come out now. I'm doing a couple updates. If you guys haven't already seen, I do the Spirit Flame News on my Patreon. Yesterday I did one. I'm going to be doing one in a few minutes. Yesterday I talked about actual captain logs of sea serpents that took down whales, big, huge sperm whales. And I've been talking about, and today we're going to be doing one on actual certain unicorns that were said to have existed, especially in Tibet and places like this. So it's going to be very, very interesting the next few days. Friday, I am going to be a guest on Leo Zagami's channel. Me and Reverend David Parry are going to both be guests. That's going to be at 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, and 5 p.m. London time, where David Parry is. So that's going to be Friday, and that's going to be an amazing show. An amazing show. And we're going to be talking about everything from the gay and lesbian community, all sorts of things going on. So it's going to be an amazing, controversial show, to say the least. What's up, Scott? What's up, Shane? Thoth? Who else is with me out there? Lynn, everybody. Well, we got like 16 people right now in the chat. Guys, I really appreciate you supporting me. Everybody, if you're looking for crystals, if you're looking for tensor tools, readings, information, definitely check out my website and support. I even have t-shirts available. I'm making actually pillows and coffee mugs and all of that as well, that I'm in the process of getting going. Hey, Cynthia. So I really appreciate all your guys' support. Guys, know that I have dedicated my whole life to this and uncovering the truth. And it's going to all pay off. It's definitely going to. Hey, Meg, what's up? It's definitely all going to pay off. It was a big sacrifice for me to do this. And it's been a war. There's been forces trying to prevent me to be doing this. You know, the forces at work, they want me as a slave. They want us as all of us as slaves. And if you guys can actually take a view into my past and see the things that I've been through in life, the hardships that I've overcome, and many different stages of my life, both good and bad, then you would see that even though I look kind of young, that for my 41 years in this incarnation, I've lived a couple of lifetimes already. And I still have way more to go. I'm not ready to give up yet. I'll never give up. I'll always be swinging. You know, even when I did a little bit of... Now, I did kickboxing I've done martial arts most of my life. The last couple of years, I haven't been training. I've been getting out of shape, and I'm getting a little bit of a dad's body, but I plan to start training again and getting back into that again. I've been more meditation and things like this, but I haven't been training in a while, a few years. Once in a while, I'll go kick the bag or hit the bag, but I took it very seriously for a little while. And even when I competed in wrestling and things like that when I was younger in school, I was a savage, man. I had this warrior instinct in me. I have even video clips, VHS video clips I've shown before on my Facebook a couple years ago of me wrestling in middle school and high school. I had just warrior instinct, this never give up instinct, and it was the same thing. That's why I had to stop kickboxing, because I chose to go professional too soon. And once you take a professional fight, you can't go back to amateur. That's one of the rules that they have. So I went professional way too soon, and I was 1-1. I had two professional fights. I was 1-1. The one fight, I finished the guy pretty quickly, and then I was too cocky on myself, and I took my next fight. I took was way too experienced for my knowledge. I fought somebody that was an ex champion. He even was a champion, I think, in either Rajadamnern Stadium or Lumpini Stadium in Thailand, which is like the World Series Super Bowl stadium of Muay Thai. And it was towards the little end of his career, so he wasn't the champion anymore, but he was at one time, and the guy is a beast, and he was actually a little lighter than me too, and he still took the fight even though I was heavier than him and I was a lot taller than him. But the guy he's an animal. Actually, you could look him up. His name is Someday. Someday M16 they call him. He he's probably like 5'4", 5'3", something like that. But he was a savage. The leg kicks on him and the boxing was just off the charts. And he I had no respect for his power either, and I just came straight at him. I was trying to finish him quick, and he actually hurt me so bad in the second round that we fought a full 5 rounds, right? And after the fight was over, I actually only thought we were going into the third round. So I got so concussed. He hit me so hard in the second round because he was hitting me. He was tuning me up with leg kicks the first round completely, and I actually had a little baseball or softball like contusion on my leg afterwards. Like he was beating my lower legs up really bad. And then in the second round, he came out with another leg kick, and then I went to check the leg kick. Instead of the leg kick, he threw a head kick and shin right to the side of my head. And I didn't fall down, but it concussed me where I didn't know what was going on. And you go on autopilot, for a little while. Like you don't, even though your body's still fighting, you're not there. Like you don't remember it. So I actually came to, and the fight was over. And I'm like, what are you talking about? We're going into the third round. And they're like, no, the fight's over. It's the fifth round. It was the fifth round. I was like, oh shit. So I started to realize, like, what is the reason why I'm catching head trauma now? This is not good. So, I stopped competing professionally back then. And, I could have took it slower and gone with it, but I was dedicating everything to it. And at that time, and it's still not that, you still can't make a lot of money in kickboxing or Muay Thai in America unless you're um, signed to like Glory Kickboxing and you're like a world champion. Then you make some money. But even if you're signed to Glory Kickboxing and you're just like you're just an average fighter in Glory, you're not making much money. Even UFC. Only the elite of the UFC make a lot of money. Some of those guys, they make like 10 grand a fight, 5 grand a fight. They only fight twice a year. Some of them, so they're not making a lot of money. And then a lot of their percentage of their camp goes to their managers and training and everything they got to do to weight cut and all that. So, what email did you send? Oh, okay, your address, nice, thank you. So forget about all that now. I mean, so I was just saying how the warrior instinct was in me, that I don't give up, that I always go down swinging. So no matter what, I'm always gonna fight for what's right, and that's just who I am. And I was offered a long time ago to sell out, and I looked the demon in the eyes and said thank you, but no thank you. So very interesting today what we've been talking about, especially with the structures on Venus. I don't know how many of those structures are, but the one I saw is a backward structure, and it's embedded within a volcano. It's like inside of a super volcano, like within it. And there's all these like weird beam type structures that you see, yeah, throughout it. I have a sketch of what I saw, and I'm gonna show that to you guys later, especially up to my patrons on my Patreon. Um, Definitely, if you guys have not joined my Patreon, join it. It's the place to be for insider access, and please support me at my website. If you've been benefiting from my videos for all these years, definitely even $2, $5, everything helps. Also support my buddy Leo Zagami. He's transitioning to America, and he's in the same position as man. He sacrificed everything to follow his calling. So there's a few of us out there that have risked it all to share this information with you guys, and I can't sit on it. I was time coded to have a near-death experience and to awaken these abilities within me. And although there's some bad that comes with the good, I am not going to just sit on my visions. I am not going to just let them plague me. It's time to talk. It's time to get this information out there. And when you make people aware, that's half the fight right there. Once these dark forces know that they're for real, they lose most of their power. It's when they're hidden, embedded, without you knowing. That's the real problem. Transmissions of the sun. We spiral out.